Okay, so I just finished 100 Blender lessons, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I actually broke through a plateau. If you're ever feeling stuck with Blender or just like sick of learning random tools but not really improving, then this course might be, the thing to get you out of your rut. So I broke the video down in a few sections. So the first is, what is the course? First things first, it's a Skillshare course, but before you click away, just hold on. I have always been weary of Skillshare. I'm like, I don't want to waste money. There's YouTube, it's free, blah, blah, blah. But I'll explain later on how you can get the course for free and why I actually recommend Skillshare after using it for a very long time. I recommend it over formal schooling and just trying to piece together and try to make your own way on YouTube. I think it's one of the closest things for one-on-one instruction for introverts like me, who I don't want to go talk to a bunch of people and learn a bunch of things. I'd rather just watch a video and learn it that way. So the course itself was called the Blender Beginners Masterclass, the Cookie Factory by 3D Tudor. If you already know who 3D Tudor is, he's a great instructor. He's got his own YouTube channel. I recommend any 3D artist who likes Blender and likes that stuff to go check him out. He does a lot of really cool stylized stuff that's, it's not super realistic, but it's not low poly. It's a very nice blend of like simple but like nice, I guess. It's definitely something that I was aiming more towards, because especially people who want to make their own game, it's simple enough to where you can make assets, you can do everything, and you're not going to be bogged down. But it is detailed enough and nice enough and interchangeable enough to where it doesn't feel, like a low effort game or like an asset flip. All right, so the course itself, so it's 19 hours long, split into 100 bite-sized different lessons. The lessons range anywhere, on the shorter end, they're about 8 minutes a lesson. On the longer end, maybe the longest one was 15 minutes or so. And it covered everything from basic modeling, like how to import reference images and how I use reference images, to here's my custom compositor, here's how you can use it, this is how you do all these animations, and it goes all the way through. And the course actually itself comes with a resource pack that has a few custom things, like his own custom conveyor belt geometry node, which I'm sure if you went behind the scenes, broke it down, looked at it, you'd be able to get the core concepts of it and emulate it somewhere else if you needed to. And that's how you can go through and mess around with the compositor add-on that he gave and everything. So why'd I take the course? I'm originally an artist who learned how to program. So I like computers, I like programming and all that other stuff, but I'm naturally gifted towards the art side, which usually means I spend way more time programming and try and coast off my artistic ability, until I realize that my art's, art is a skill, and I'm losing it. It's fading. Even though I'm naturally artistic, I can't coast off that forever. And if I want to make a game, the best return of my time is to focus on art. And I feel like that's where I'll get the most bang for my buck. So I feel like this was the right place for me to start. I'm coming off of using Maya for school reasons for a long time, and I just wanted to get back into Blender and get the controls, the shortcuts, the feeling for it and everything. And I felt like this was a good course that not only matched the stylistic art style that I was looking for, but also, just knocking out just the basic stuff like, oh yeah, this is how you do that again. This is how you do this, that. So now moving on to what the course was actually like. Honestly, the course itself is a mental grind, but one that came with a huge feeling of satisfaction at the end. On paper, it's just under 19 hours. I'll have it pulled up somewhere, but it was just under 19 hours, but that's only watch time. That's video instruction. So once you factor in, rewinds or pausing, doing the thing, coming back, editing, this, that, and third, computer buffering, and whatnot, it can take quite a while. I tracked my progress through it just so I can give everyone kind of like a time estimate and like what to expect. And I put 48 actual work hours behind the computer working in Blender open hours. And I spread that across 15 separate work days. Now, realistically, I didn't do this as like see if I can do 100 lessons in 24 hours or whatever. I did this as a investment in myself. I am learning this so I can get to my goals, and I hope this video helps someone else in the future. So I'm not trying to cram these videos for likes or whatever or be clickbaity. It's like, I want to learn something. I care more about that than all the other stuff. So, I have kids, I have this, I have that, and whatever. And some days, honestly, like I was burnt out and I just didn't want to do it. So, it's just normal everyday stuff. Some days I put in 6 hours, some days I put in 1 or 2, and that was it. And, sometimes I took 3 days off, came back on for 2 or 3, took another day or 2 off. But the key thing is like seeing it all the way through. It doesn't matter if it takes 100 days, 100 whatever. The fact that I saw it through, that gave a great feeling at the end. And honestly, I feel like I absorbed more information having it spaced out than I did just, trying to cram it all in a couple days. It can be done that way, but I'm telling you, you are not going to have a good experience if you try and do it that way. Moving on to what really clicked for me. What really clicked with me wasn't just, seeing the lessons and copying them and this and that or whatever, because you can do that on YouTube. Like I can look up anything on YouTube, how to do this, and then just copy the steps and be done with it. But what I actually got the most value out of was watching the instructor not like mess up or anything, but seeing how they run into problems and how they troubleshoot it and what their mindset is when they're coming up with these things, or why they do this instead of this. And I noticed that about halfway through, I could see, like, the instructor would say, okay, we're working on this. And I could see, okay, well, based off the last 3 things, the last 3 machines that we built, we did it this way. So I'm going to pause the video and work a little bit ahead as to what I think is going to happen, and then playing it and seeing, did it match up or not? And it is a fantastic feeling when you do that and the instructor does it the same exact way you do. and you're like, oh, okay, I'm actually learning. This is great. Also, when they hit issues and you in the back of your head, you're like, oh, I had this issue, but I solved it on my own, 5-10 minutes ago, and now I'm seeing him have these issues, and it's like, oh, okay, these are the ways he's trying to figure it out. This is how I figured it out, but both answers come to the same solution. And I think that is something that is very important for artists to learn, is that there is no real right answers. Like, if it gets the end result, it may not be perfect, but it's better that it's complete than it be, hung up over here because you couldn't figure out the exact perfect way to do something. So it really clicked me, I would say maybe about lesson 40 to 60 range. That's when it really hit me that, oh, I'm not just copying anymore. Like, I have these shortcuts memorized, and I'm able to do these things over here that I didn't know before that was actual a thing. I understand why people do these things and the issues that can be caused if, you change all this stuff, but you don't properly put your origin somewhere or whatever. Just little things that make your life a lot easier. And it's a lot less scary when you run into issues and you're like, oh shit, how do I fix that? I have to restart Control Z everything, but in the back of your mind, you understand, oh, okay, I got it. I don't have to undo everything. So that was a great feeling learning that. Was it worth it? Absolutely. I feel like I broke through a plateau. There's a new skill floor that I don't feel like, I could take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month off, and I feel like I will still, like I have a new baseline level. I'm more confident in Blender, and honestly more as an artist. What else do I have written down over here? I believe that the Skillshare route itself. So first off, I was very skeptical of Skillshare. I'm a nobody on the internet. I will never be sponsored. I will never make money doing this, and I'm cool with that. This is a journal for me, so whatever. Skillshare, I was super skeptical because it just seems like one of those other like scammy routes. And honestly, there's 2 ways to do it. You can get the course for free, and but I paid for the annual Skillshare subscription once I got through and saw like, oh, there's a lot of courses on here that I want to take that I think, might I could make videos on or whatever, or they're topics that might be helpful in the future. So I went ahead and paid for it. It was $167 for an annual, like full annual subscription. And I think structured courses are a way better avenue for learning because the instructor can have concepts build on each other in a manner that makes sense and makes it easy to be absorbed versus, oh, I want to learn how to make this in Blender. Let me YouTube that. Okay, I learned how to do that. Okay, I want to learn how to make this in Blender. And it's like, okay, you can piecemeal stuff like that together, but you're missing a lot of the core concepts and you're missing a lot of the things that makes you adaptable. You may be able to copy people, but I think the structured stuff is what's going to help you be able to make things your own. And as promised, the free route. So if I was someone who was struggling with money but really wanted to do this, I would go to any other YouTuber who's creative. So like Skillshare really does a good job at focusing on creatives. It does photography, like they have photography classes, art classes, creative business classes. For me, if I If I look at Skillshare, I think it's geared more towards people who, one, want to learn some sort of creative art, or they want to do some sort of business or learn how to make a business out of their creative art. That's what all their lessons are kind of geared towards. But the way that I would do it, I would go on YouTube, find a creator who does like a, hey, use my code and you get 1 month free. Do that. You can complete this course in a month. You're going to have to put some time to it, but you can do it in a month. And then before you finish, you can look through their catalog, you can see if there's anything else that you would like to take, or you can cancel your subscription. You already went through the course. They can't take knowledge away from you. And yeah, they won't pay you for the next month because you quit before the 1 month free trial was over. You just have to actually make sure that you quit and you get the course done in time. But for some people, that might help them out more because they can, it gives them a hard time limit. Some people are like, oh, I have to get this done in a month. For me, it was, some people need discipline, some people don't. And I don't regret signing up and paying for the Skillshare. Like I said, I'll never be sponsored, so that's a whatever thing. But I just think if you're very serious about learning your craft and becoming good at it, you have to follow some sort of structure. And it's not just about the structure of the class or what the class is about. It really, really matters who is teaching that class. I've had so many college classes where it was just straight garbage because the instructor you could ask them a question and they'd be like, I have no idea. You have to look at the book, ChatGPT it, this or that or whatever. So I find it more valuable to learn from industry professionals who put courses out like this, because it's almost like there is a more sense of respect because you can visually see that they aren't just talking the talk, they're also walking the walk. And it's really nice not having any distractions or ads or anything on the videos, But lastly, like I said, I'm not here to sell you anything. I just wanted to share my experience with this course as honestly and transparently as I could. And if you like me, if you're feeling stuck but you're motivated, then I really think this course is worth checking out. I'm going to be doing more honest reviews like this on other Blender courses, maybe some other software like Unity and Unreal on Skillshare. So if that sounds helpful for you, then hit subscribe and follow along. But yeah.